Now, a very good way of selling a product is to create a review. Now, the review can go on to a blog or your own domain, or it could go onto a blog and then point to your own domain, or whatever. You know, it's entirely up to you. The reason the reviews work very well is particularly for more expensive items like the iPod here, the iPod Touch. People quite often like to they like to see a review because the review helps them to make that decision to buy. You know, they may be sitting there thinking, well, do I want an iPod or do I want a whatever it might be? You know, they're you know, thinking about 2 or 3 different models. They're not sure which one should they buy, so they've gone off to look for some reviews to try and help them make up their mind. You know, basically people will base their buying decision upon these reviews. The reviews can persuade them to decide to buy. So a review is very, very good, and it's good content for your website. Now, you could create your website all based around a review, and what you could do is, you know, you can have an overview at the front page, and then you can have reviews of different features or different sections as the other pages. Something like that would present a very, very good website. You know, think about it, it really would. It'll be a very nice, very easy to use website, one that I think people find very, very useful to use. So, you know, that sort of thing is very, very good, and it's full of links, obviously, to your Amazon site. So it's going to help people sit there and go, well, yeah, actually, yeah, I do want to do that. That is the best decision for me. Yeah, I'm sure of that. It's the right decision. So your review needs to point out the good features of it. Why do they have to buy it? What's so good about it? Why can't they exist without it? You do need to also sort of tell them what it's like to own it. Part of reading a review is really about telling people what it's like to experience owning it. Does it make them feel good? Is it useful? Is it going to help them? So, you know, your review needs to be structured very, very well. But what we have here with Amazon is Amazon's got a review system built in. It has lots and lots of reviews of the products. Now, you can use these reviews to help you create a website and to create your very own high quality product review. Now, I personally don't own an iPod Touch. However, with what is here, I could create a 5-star review of one that will make people believe that I've owned one since the very day they came out. It's very, very easy to do. Now, reviews have to contain the good points. Now, if you really want to make sales, make sure you point out some of the negatives as well. The reason being is that if people find a review and it's gushingly positive and everything's so wonderful and wow, it's so good, all it's going to do is make them go, what's wrong with that then? So people are going to think there's a problem, basically. So it's always worth pointing out a couple of negative points in your review, but wrap them in lots of positive points and don't make them look like deal breakers. You know, don't highlight the negative points in such a way that they go, God, I could never own that. Highlight the negative points and say, well, it's a great phone, but the camera's not so good. You know, the camera's only say for example here, the camera's only 0.6 megapixels. It's not the best available on a mobile phone, but the other features of the iPod Touch more than make up for the lack of a high quality phone. Something like that, for example. Yeah, that really tells people that there's a negative, but doesn't frame it in such a way that they're going to run screaming for the hills when they realise. Now, what we can do is we can take all this information here. Now, literally, we can turn this into a review with multiple pages, this one, because it's so long. And what we could do is take these and rewrite them, basically. I would not use these as is, simply because there's lots of other marketers that are doing so. And by rewriting them in your own words, you're giving it your own personality, and you're making the site look different. So if someone's already been here and they've read a few of the reviews on Amazon, they're still going, scratch, I don't know, do I want it? They come to your site and they see something different. You know, yeah, it's the same stuff, but it's rewritten. They're more likely to read your review. If I went to a website when I was trying to decide whether to buy this, and it's exactly the same as this review here that I'd read, or the review on another website, I probably wouldn't buy, to be really, really truthful. So by rewriting it, you're improving your ability to make sales, because people are more likely to read your review because it's unique. Now, you can see here you've got lots of positive reviews, so you can click on each of these to see the positive reviews, and then you can click to see at the lower reviews. There's also some over here, and you can see here, this one here, it says the camera's terrible, and this one here that does not, here's a negative review. So what I would do is I would take content from a few of the reviews and sort of mash it together to create my own review. I would go through 4 or 5 reviews, and I would pick up bits and pieces from those reviews and put them all together and then rewrite it. There you are. Now here you are. Here's a negative review. This is worth putting in it. You can't synchronize third-party software over USB. Okay, so that might be something that people are interested in. And he says here, my company doesn't allow me to use Wi-Fi because of the security. So this could be a deal breaker for some people, but it's worth you mentioning it because people like to know up front. If I read your review, bought my phone, and then realised, well, I really needed to do that and it can't, I'd be annoyed and I'd probably return it. I may return it. So by pointing it out, you are making the review very, very realistic and independent. Think about independent reviews in magazines and whatever. They don't just point out the good points, they point out the negatives. And I think it's very important that you do that, because it looks more like an independent review and less like the fact you're trying to sell them and make them buy because you earn. So consider that. And you can see there's many, 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 many reviews. And there you can see sort of this review here against a couple more negative points. The sound quality is not particularly good or loud. And you can see here that it says that it's got low memory and the camera's poor. So there's lots and lots of sort of features, lots and lots of ideas. There's another one there. See, it hasn't got a lot of memory, it's got a poor camera, and it doesn't have vibration. So yeah, those are negative points that you can put in. So it's worth considering using the negative points as well. Now, I would say that the reviews are very, very powerful. We do know that people love them. So with everything that's here on Amazon, you can create high quality reviews very, very easily. You use these as content for your blogger blogs or your websites, and what you'll find is you'll make sales from it because you can help people to make those buying decisions. So remember, you have to point out the negative points as well as the positive points. Make it look like an independent review where you're not too worried if you sell it, but you want to make sure that you inform the reader and you really want to help them to understand what the best thing is and the best way forward is. That's what you're trying to do here, is you're trying to really educate them as to the features of it and tell them that it is something they want to buy, but without actually making it look like you're selling to them. And that's why reviews are so good and so popular. We're used to them. They're in magazines, we have them on television, infomercials. They're pretty much reviews. People review things all the time. So people like reviews and will look for them, specifically when they're looking at more expensive products. So a review can often help them make that buying decision.